I'm going to give an explanation for a thriller drama display known as Pending Educate. Spoilers beforehand. Be careful and take care. The display opens in Tokyo on an everyday morning with numerous human beings going approximately their everyday exercises. A hairdresser named Chiyashima is ready to board Educate, questioning whether or not he need to meet a positive individual on the Equal Time High School Fitness Center. Instructor Sai stands at the Educate platform. On her manner to paintings she is startled whilst she comes throughout a person named Shirahama who's her longtime crush, but Shirahama does not appear to understand her, and we research that he's additionally awaiting the Educate, now no longer lengthy, after the Educate arrives and all three of them step internal at the side of numerous different passengers. Absolutely each person is misplaced of their personal mind and mentally making plans out their days. However, all of unexpected an earthquake alert is going off and chaos ensues as numerous human beings and objects disappear. The Educate then enters a tunnel at excessive velocity, accompanied by way of means of a noisy effect sound that violently shakes the passengers. This reasons them to lose their stability and fall to the floor. Some day later the Educate eventually comes to a forestall and the passengers carefully stand up. They step out of the Educate, however, are compelled to discover themselves in an surprising forest. The group starts making emergency calls, however there's no sign. Both as panic ensues, Shirahama introduces himself as a firefighter and assures them that the whole thing can be pleasant. He then examines on every passenger one at a time to make certain that nobody become injured with inside. A coincidence. In the meantime, on the station, police find out that Educate carriage has mysteriously vanished. They do not apprehend how something as big as Educate carriage ought to vanish without a trace. Ought to it have disappeared into the earthquake. Sir, no, do not make experience again on the Educate. Shirahama makes a decision to go into the tunnel to peer if they could discover any assists, and Chiyashima additionally provide to accompany him too, which he is of the same opinion. They then start strolling through the tunnel till they attain the stop, which shocks them. There isn't unmarried constructing there. All they see is a significant wilderness and mountainous terrain. Quickly after, the trio returns to the Educate and informs the alternative passengers approximately what they noticed. This makes the gang even greater terrified, and that they agree with better in any other international. Shirahama then methods all of us and asks for his or her names in order that he could make a listing. All 46 passengers percentage their information, besides for Chiyashima, who refuses to monitor his call. In the meantime, Sai is inspired through Shirahama and remembers that he visited her faculty to present firefighter education. That changed into the instant she first noticed him and began out liking him. Later, a lady named Rihanna comes throughout a newspaper article, approximately a homicide suspect visible close to the teach. She then will become hungry and tests the bag subsequent to her in hopes of locating a few meals. It seems to be Kashima's bag, and all she will discover is a couple of scissors and a letter from Rihanna fast places the stuff again in which it changed into and secretly steals meals from any other bag she eats, maximum of the meals, and palms the plastic bag to Chiyashima. In a while the passengers emerge as hungry, so Sai tests her bag to distribute a number of her meals. However, she is bowled over to find out that a person has already stolen it and needs to recognize who the thief is. Chiyashima is visible with the meals bag, so Rihanna wastes no time in accusing him. She even exhibits how she observed the jail letter and guns in his bag, implying that he is a crook. Chiyashima denies the accusations, however humans do not agree with him and emerge as scared. This significantly disappoints the negative man, so he makes a decision to depart the institution and try and discover his manor domestic on my own. Later, the institution starts removing anything meals they have got and divides it amongst themselves. Similarly, a vlogger man information the whole thing due to root there may be one of these, and whilst he tests a number of his in advance photos, he unearths Rihanna stealing a bag of meals. He right away indicates this to the others and they're bowled over to analyze that Chiyashima is harmless, but Rihanna does now no longer sense responsible and claims she did not lie, approximately the man being a crook. Sai and Shirahama are enraged on the lady and berate her, and then they got down to discover Chiyashima. In the meantime, Chiyashima wanders aimlessly till he comes throughout a dead-end ravine. He attempts to investigate the environment whilst the floor below him unexpectedly crumbles, inflicting him to slide. Chiyashima is now desperately clinging to a tree course at the verge of falling into the abyss. However, thankfully for him, Sai and Shirama arrive simply in time and paintings collectively to tug him to protection. As soon as he is secure, they express regret for now no longer trusting him in advance and letting him move. Chiyashima responds he could not care less, as he would not think about them as buddies. Day after today, the passengers are in a determined scenario as assistant nonetheless hasn't arrived. They start scattering via the woods, hoping to discover a manor out with. Inside the nighttime, excessive faculty pupil exhibits that he observed a discarded can from a product with a production date of 2026 and vintage. Female named Tanaka provides that he noticed Tokyo Bloom Tower, a shape scheduled for finishing touch in 2026. In the meantime, a botanist named Kato famous that he found a plant that thought to now no longer were scientifically evolved for some other 30 years, primarily based totally on those records. The organization speculates that their educate has traveled 30 years into the destiny wherein civilization has collapsed. Quickly after, an injured guy arrives on the educate and frantically explains that he had located a cart of liquids. However, earlier than he may want to deliver it right here, a person stole it from him. The organization of straightaway suspects Rihanna once more. However, she insists that she's harmless this time. Regardless, they finish that the thief have to be amongst them. Main to accusations and heated arguments, Shirahama intervenes to calm the scenario and units up a tarp to accumulate rainwater, hoping to seize at the least a few. Alas, it would not rain, putting them in a good extra hopeless scenario. The subsequent morning, the educate conductor catches Tanaka with a water bottle and realizes he is the cart thief. He straightaway brings him to the opposite passengers, and famous the reality, Tanaka would not deny this and gives to alternate the water for cash. In view that simplest, he is aware of the region. However, Chiyashima grabs the vintage guy and threatens to kill him if he remains in. This terrifies Tanaka. I turned into simply kidding, and he eventually leads the organization to the region of the cart. Anybody is given one water bottle which makes them satisfied. However, they are aware of it may not ultimately lengthy and have to discover it simply quickly. The following day, a small organization units out to look for a water supply. They come upon a few frogs and damp floor alongside the manor, indicating that they're getting near their vacation spot. After hours of taking walks, Shirama ties a protection rope and thoroughly climbs the cliff. Even as the others stay on the lowest, he eventually reveals the sparkling flow of water and informs the others approximately it but as Shirahama walks similarly, he's shocked to appear a giant sea close by with Mount Fuji seen with inside the distance. However, this isn't always the Mount Fuji they keep in mind, as there's no signal of civilization everywhere. Upon returning to the educate, Shirahama suggests the photograph of Mount Fuji to the passengers. This leaves them stunned because it eventually confirms their idea of touring into the destiny. They then start recording tearful messages for his or her cherished ones on their telephones in case they by no means go back. In the meantime, Sai processes Chiyashima and that they interact in a heartfelt verbal exchange. In the course of this, Chiyashima opens up approximately his existence, revealing how tough he labored to elevate his more youthful brother Tatsuya. He explains that their mother and father deserted them, so all that they'd turned into every different how, but as a youngster Tatsuya have become concerned in crook hobby, which eventually landed him in juvenile prison. Chiyashima hasn't spoken to him because then, and it has already been 2 years. He famous that the letter from jail become dispatched with the aid of using Tatsuya, who's because of be launched at the day of the twist of fate. Upon listening to this, Sai comforts him, after which tries to report a video message to ship to his brother. However, Chiyashima refuses and shortly her battery additionally runs out. This activates him to name her Silly. However, it's far obtrusive that he is starting to increase emotions for her. In the meantime, with inside the outdoor global, we see the households of all the lacking passengers amassing on the Teach station, worrying to realize their whereabouts. Tatsuya is likewise amongst them, and while he arrives at his brother's salon, he notices Flora left for him. This infuriates Tatsuya, who angrily broadcasts that his brother isn't lifeless. In every other scene, Tanaka spots a mysterious character with inside the woodland and takes to the air after them that is actually simply misplaced. However, he quickly returns and steals Kashima's hairdressing equipment to hold his pursuit. Tanaka finally comes return empty, surpassed her, and Chiyashima is livid at him for taking his valuable equipment. The antique guy explains that he noticed a person carrying a cap who wasn't a part of their organization. However, Kiyashima would not trust him. This sparks a heated argument among the two. However, it's far reduced quick while it all of a sudden starts evolved to rain. All of us starts evolved rejoicing with inside the water. However, Tanaka broadcasts that he has had sufficient and chooses to go away. The organization day after today, Kato leads a foraging group to assist decide which wild plant life are suitable for eating and which can be risky. Sai and Rihanna are visible chatting and gathering berries while Sei all of a sudden turns into unwell and collapses to the floor. It turns out that she has eaten a poisonous plant that appeared like suitable for eating berries. Happily she did not eat a good deal and Shirahama allows her vomit it out. Kiyashima then notices Tanaka lurking with inside the history looking at the whole lot. The following morning the organization starts evolved to paintings collectively to put together makeshift guns for his or her survival. They craft pots manufactured from in bins, cutlery from bamboo, or even sharpen ATM playing cards to apply as knives. Inside the night time they collect with the aid of using the bonfire and start ingesting soup made with the aid of using the older girls. However, matters take a distinct flip while a person notices a poisonous plant in one of the soups. Kato takes the glance and realizes it's far unsuitable for eating berry. However, he is curious approximately the way it were given into their soup. Kiyashima thinks Tanaka can also additionally have slipped it in while he become lurking in advance. He suspects the antique guy desired to poison all of us. However, by chance positioned the berries in as a substitute. Kiyashima desires to confront Tanaka. However, Shirahama would not trust he will be the wrongdoer. This ends in an issue among them and Shirahama finally comes to a decision to move looking for the antique guy himself. Some hours biscuit and he nonetheless would not return to the camp. This makes Sa concerned, so she comes to a decision to head search for him. However, Kiyashima warns her that it's too unstable to head by myself and asks for her to attend. He teases her relating to her as a Shirahama fan. However, she denies it then stalks the tale of the way she first met him even though he hadn't recognized approximately her lifestyles till the educate twist of fate. Shirahama is visible strolling via the wooded area trying to find the antique guy. However, he quickly falls right into a ditch and injures his leg. He starts calling for assist. However, unluckily no person is round to pay attention him. The following